So I had a good chat on, I just posted a video about like how to start writing your own songs, and I had a good conversation in the comments there about like what would be some really important knowledge to know. And like I said, you don't really have to know anything. Like to write your own song, you could just go, I mean, you could just be like, like something really simple, but sorry. But like in terms of chords, there's definitely something that you should learn. It's these chords. I mean these keys. So what I would learn is the 1, 4, 5 chords in these keys. C, A, G, E, D, and F, and you want to learn the 1, 4, 5 chords in those keys. So the key of C major, A major, G major, E major, D major, and F major, because those are the most common keys on the guitar. With F, like outside, I put the most common ones are, they spell cage, so it's easy to remember, and then F is also pretty common. And the reason why I think this is important, the reason why those keys are so common, it's not because of some like, it's not random, it's because the 5 open chords on the guitar are C, A, G, E, and D. So like let's say you wanted to play in the key of G sharp major, there's no way to do it except with bar chords. And bar chords are just obnoxious. Like if you're stuck with bar chords, also if you're playing the key of G sharp major, for example, which would not be on this list, if you're in the key of G sharp, then watch what happens if you hit open string. So bad it will sound. So the other good thing is when you're playing in these keys, for the most part, the open strings, like if you hit them, you can use them, and that's an advantage. So I'm going to go through all the 1, 4, 5 chords in those keys. And if I were starting guitar, I mean, I was basically told this to learn my 1, 4, 5s, but I mean, if you took a month and just really learned these chords, it would speed up your learning a ton. So C, F, G. So the 1 chord, this is a key of C major. So the 1 chord C, the 4 is F, and the 5 is G. So C, F, G. Here's how you play it. C major. F, I think the easiest way to learn, and the way I do it the most, is just like this. With my thumb here to mute it, and then muting the top with the top of this finger. So that's 3, 3, 2, 1. And then G. And I would learn it like this first. Later you can do other ways, but this way is the best for these chords, because look at how little you have to move your fingers. 3, 2, 0, 0, 0, 3. Also, I always keep, when I'm doing C, F, G, the 1, 4, 5 in the key of C, I always keep my thumb up here. Even when I go to G, and the reason why is because my thumb's hanging out here even on C chord, because you don't want E in the bass. So this is in this key, you want your thumb here. It's the only key that you would want to do this in all the time. And you can just try to, like, you really want to memorize these chords, and like I was recommending, even get like flashcards out and write down like C, F, G, and write it down like the way I wrote it here, because you need to know like what's the 1 chord, the 4, and the 5 chord. And if this concept doesn't make sense, I've done videos about what this means, but I mean, I can't explain it again, but those 1, 4, 5 there's 7 chords in a key, and the 1, 4, 5 are the 3 major chords in the key. So the key of C major has 7 chords, and the 3 major chords are C, F, G, and they're built from the 1st, 4th, and 5th notes of a C major scale, so that's why it's 1, 4, 5. So I'll do that again, C, F, G. You can try picking on it. What I would do is just write a song with CFG. Just like start humming stuff. And today I was doing da 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 da. Just like make up something even if it's not good, because then when you run into CFG again, it will stick with you. So then the next key, I'm just going to go in the C, A, G, E, D order just because it's easy to remember. But I mean the order is kind of arbitrary. So the key of A major. So the 1, 4, 5s are A, D, E. So again, you can make like a flashcard and just like memorize this. Like I tell my students, like I ask them, do you remember how you learned your multiplication tables? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, how did you do it? I'm like, well, we just memorized it. And I say, well, yep, that's what you got to do, because it's like I don't try to get my students to memorize a lot of stuff, but for some stuff like this, once they're at a level where they want to write their own music, or kind of really know what they're doing, you just got to memorize it. So A, D, E, that's the 1, 4, 5 in the key of A major. So it's going to be like this. And I think this is the brightest key. It sounds the happiest. So whenever I'm trying to make a really happy song, I play in the key of A major. The reason why it doesn't have to do with the chords A, D, E, it has to do with the voicings of the chords. But that's just, it's also subjective. But whenever I want a really happy song, I go to the key A major. So A, 0, 2, 2, 2, 0. D major, 0, 2, 3, 2. Here I do put my thumb here. So you don't want E in the bass. On a D chord, if you hit A, like you want to strum from the D string, if you hit the A string, it doesn't sound bad. That's because A is actually the same as this note here. It's one of the notes in the chord. So it actually sounds good, but if you hit this, as soon as I have my students go, they'll go. They don't even notice how bad that sounds. So you definitely don't want to do that. That's D major and then E major. E major, 0, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0, and you can look all these chords up. It sounds really bright and happy, and then again, just start like blah blah blah, mumbling words, or humming, or like whistling, like. Like whistling's fun, or you just say like random phrases, like I should start reading books. My brain is done. Da da. Just make up random stuff. So like what I did when I was learning to write songs, I would just write down chords like this, like I have on these pieces of paper, and just force myself to make up a song. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of like, because having constraints is a good way to generate creativity. So the next key is G. This is my favorite key because like the guitar is almost basically tuned to a G chord or an E minor chord, which is also in the key, is an important chord in the key of G. So G, C, D is the 1, 4, 5 in the key of G. And again, I would write this down. Just make sure you like have this completely memorized, and it will really help you improve at guitar faster. So 1, 4, 5, G, C, D. So we actually know all those chords already. So G, C. One of my favorite bands is called Galaxy 500. And almost like all their songs are just G, C, D. It's like like a lot of their songs, this is all they are. So I'll throw in a trick I like to do in G. I like to go. The scale that most people learn, usually this is people's first scale, the G major pentatonic in this context. So it's 3-0, 3-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 3-0, and it's really easy when you're doing these chords to just be like. Usually I do it more subtle than that, just stuff like. Again, you just kind of make up stuff. Like sometimes if you start with really cliche sort of phrases, it can be good, or really detailed like unmusical phrases. I tend to go for either for one extreme or the other. So like be like to go really general. Maybe you sang something like about love because that's just the most common thing to sing about. So like my heart was broken. Like you can just start out like that, and then you'll start to come up with ideas like my heart was broken for you. Oh, so then you just like write down. Like I usually do it actually like on a text program, but like how about my heart was too dark, unclear. Like that's kind of what I was thinking about as I was just mumbling. So then you just write it down, like that phrase. Just like I like to type it so I can like cut and paste the text. I don't really like my cousin is a songwriter and he likes to like physically write it. I think like I don't know. I don't really write anymore, so I just like always have like a notepad open, like taking notes when I'm doing other stuff, so I just toss it in there. You just write it down, and then you'll be like, alright, now I have my phrase, so I'm going to do G, C, D, because I'm in the key of G. My heart was too dark and unclear. And I felt kind of like it wasn't flowing, so then you kind of just ignore what you wrote, and then you'd be like, my heart was blue until you came. And it's like, oh, I don't like that, and you just keep doing it until stuff sort of happens. But sometimes like you're just not feeling it, and just like record it anyways, because sometimes it's like you don't realize what you're doing is good until you hear it later. So usually like I write a lot of songs still, and I usually just do it within 1 hour because I don't have that much time, and I'm usually pretty pleased with it because it's like it's not like polished, but usually like the energy is super raw when you do that way. One of my favorite bands was the Meat Puppets, because like their music was so raw, and just like I guess they wouldn't practice on purpose because they were good musicians, because they wanted to keep their songs like kind of at a state where they never fully had mastered them, and I thought that was kind of interesting. Okay, so far we've done the keys of C, A, G, so now E. So this one's a little tough, E, A, B. So this is the key of E major. I think this sounds like the boldest key. I think A major sounds the brightest. C and G are the most flexible. They can sound really depressing, or they can sound pretty happy and folky. This one usually sounds really bold. Like, again, it's because of the voicings. It's not because of that it's an E and an A and a B. It's because like the one chord here, the E is like this big chord. So that's why a lot of rock bands like the key of E major. It's like you get this big sound, E major. So E major 0, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0. A major, play it like this. Some people learn it like this. This is not a good way to do it. It's just like hard to get it on there, and notice when you go like this from E to A, it's real easy. So E and then A is 0, starting on the A string, 0, 2, 2, 2, 0. And D is 0, 2, 3, 2. We already saw that one. So E. Oh, I actually messed up. It's B. I was thinking that didn't sound right. It's B major that we need. So that would have been chords from the key of A major. So E, A, and B major. Here we go. So B is a bar chord. That's why I said it's a little hard. 2, 4, 4, 2, 4, 4, 4, 2. You want to mute with the tip of this finger, mute this string out, and then lay that finger on 4, 4, 4, and make sure it doesn't touch the A string. And if you can get this top string to ring out if you get your finger to go like that. Usually when I'm switching between A and B, you probably saw me do that, I play A like this. Because then it's easier to just be like... So I'm barring there. 0, 2, 2, 2. So this is probably the hardest key. Well, actually F is going to be equally hard because it has a bar chord in it also. So here's a trick though, if you're a beginner and you're struggling with bar chords and you want to play in the key of E major here, you can just go like this. See what I did? I just slid the A major shape over, but you gotta be careful that you only hit those 3 strings. So there's a good reason to bring your thumb up here and then mute the top. I actually do this a lot, or I do it like there. I'm doing it even lazier way, A, and then B like that. So yeah, so then you do the same process to be like clear morning, I feel awake till you. So it's like, alright, on clear morning, I didn't feel awake. Again, it's like you gotta get rid of the censor in your head. Cause like, I think a lot of people like who I've talked to try to write songs. Like for some reason, cause I used to write a lot before I played music. So I think I already got that censor out of my head. And I also realized a lot of lyrics I like are actually pretty stupid if you actually think about it. It's just like you like it because you project your own emotions into it. So if you get rid of the censor in your head, just write down whatever. Clear morning, I didn't feel awake till I, let's say, sensed your, and I don't know what it's going to be. So sometimes you can like kind of have these cliches, and then like if you kind of leave it open, like you might have a word there, but sometimes what I do is I write boring stuff like that, and then I'll try to think of something that's not cliche right there. I sensed your, because like whatever you put there, it could really change the direction of the song. So be like, now one thing too, I like to do the 1/4 chords way more than the 5 chord. Because the 1 and 4 chords, they just kind of have this more chugging along feeling. There's not as much motion to them. Like I could play 1/4 all day long and just make up stuff. The 5 gives it more like a finished quality and it resolves. It wants to resolve. The 1 and 4 don't have this tension of wanting to resolve. So one thing you can do is like try doing the 1/4 chords more. But to do this, let's see if I can come up with a word. So just if you're learning this, again, write it on a flashcard, and then just try singing along to it like I'm doing. So clear morning, clear, feel away. So I can't remember how I was singing it before. So see, that's why I supposed to record it, because I already forgot how I did it. Clear morning, didn't feel awake, didn't feel the data on your face. One trick I like to do is you can like, so see my lyrics already changed. they already changed from that. So like it changes really fast, and that's partly why I like to type stuff and not have it on paper. I said clear morning, I didn't feel awake, and then I said I didn't feel you something. I kind of like that more. So again, like what I would do is quickly I would just delete that and like cut and paste that line. You do it as fast as possible so you don't like get out of your flow. Alright, so that was C, A, G, E, and the next one is D major. This is my least favorite key. I don't like this key for some reason. I just don't like this sequence of chords. So I don't think I think I did force myself to make up a few songs in this key at one point, but I just never use it. But a lot of songs do. There are songs that use it. So the 1 is D, 4 is G, and 5 is A. These are the 1, 4, 5 chords in the key of D major. So again, just write it down on a flashcard and just like try to do what I'm doing. So D, G, A, and D. So one thing I do like to do in this key is go. I like to go D to G like that and then a quick A. That's a little more advanced, but these chords are so boring, I'm just going to try to do something more advanced. So D. I like to do that too, like barring, and that's a A sus4. So you can even do this. This is kind of cool. I even use my thumb here. I guess I do play in this key sometimes. And you can do the same process. Another thing you can do, I don't have a really good voice. Like, I can get my voice to sound kind of cool, like in a certain way. But like I dated a girl who was a singer, and it made me realize I really suck at singing, like in terms of technique. But doesn't mean you can't make up cool stuff as long as you just kind of have an authentic sound. But one thing I do a lot when I'm strumming chords is like pick out a note, like bow, and then I use that to help my voice. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna start singing from this note. So like bow, and then I'll even sometimes go bow. My melody was coming out of these chords. Bow, 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 bow. That enough, you can start to hear whatever you made up, and then right away try to like do something with it because it will fade. Or you could record what I just did, so you can hear it, and then sing over it the melody, and then you have a melody. So it's like bow, 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 bow. So let's say I just did that to keep it simpler. Bow. Ba, 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 ba. Then you start making up words like I can't seem to know how. Sometimes I like to, the word I heard in my head was why. So sometimes what I do, I like subvert my own expectation of what my brain is. Like right there, like why is the rhyming word, so I'll just pick a similar word that's not going to sound as like what you would expect. So you can like negate your own sort of words that come into your mind. Like why and how are almost the same. So I actually heard why in my head, but I said how. It seems kind of stupid, but if you do that kind of stuff sometimes, it can help to kind of get out of the cliches that are going to come into your mind. So I do I have? And then you kind of hum stuff, and then just write it down. So that's the key of D. And the last one I would include, because F does come up a lot. So F, B flat, and C. And also because like this key, the B flat chord, can kind of like throw you off. Because partly why I'm going over all this is if you learn all these, then it'll make it a lot easier to learn other people's songs. So F, B flat, C. So the way I usually do it is just this simple F. 3, 3, 2, 1. B flat, I actually do it like this a lot lately. I've gotten lazier and lazier with this chord. I don't even do it like that, actually I do it like this normally. So I'll just show the way I actually do this, and then I'll give the full waves. There's F, B flat, I go 3, 3, 3, starting on the D string. C, just basic C. So it's like... One thing I just did there, I don't know if you could hear that. Look how bad the B string sounds. That's because the note B is not in the key of F. There's a B flat in the key. So if you accidentally hit the B string, it sounds horrible. So you gotta be a little careful with that because it's easy to do. I just did it. So you gotta be careful not to hit the B string when you're playing this key. So then you just strum F, B flat, F, B flat, C. You can add this note also to B flat if you want. Okay, so here's the full chords though, because I think it's worth learning this. So here's the full F. 1, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, bar chord. B flat, the full one. This is one of the hardest chords for beginners. 1, 3, 3, 3, 1. F. C. I'll throw in one more trick for C that's kind of cool if you're doing these full chords. C over G. That sounds kind of good when you're doing the full F. So what you do is instead of doing C like that, you put your third finger there and put your pinky there. I like this chord, and if you go to shows, you'll notice one of the first things I noticed when I started playing guitar was how often people play C over G. So I would watch people playing when I would go to concerts, and I was learning to actually play guitar. I'd be like, I would see this all the time. Notice that's F to C over G. So you could play F. But like normally, like I said, I usually do F, E flat. So then again, you just repeat the process of humming, blah, 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 blah. And really, like, if this is hard for you, like, I would intentionally make a bad song. Like, I would make, like, the worst song. That's one thing I remember doing, was making intentionally, like, horrible songs. Like, partly because I remember going to open mic nights, and the songs were so awful. It was probably, like, I don't know, I just remember making up songs that were like the worst possible lyrics possible, kind of just for fun, to like see, just kind of try to imitate what I had been hearing at some of these open mic nights. So I mean, you could try that too, just to kind of like if you're having a block writing songs, like make something horrible, like I don't know, be like I need you so bad, I need you so bad, baby. I want you in the worst way. I need you so bad, baby. I need you in the worst way. Blah, blah, blah. And just like, whatever is like the worst lyrics you can imagine. You know, just write a song like that. Because then it's like, so I remember like doing stuff like that, kind of made it like easier to not feel like ashamed or something. So yeah, so there's all the 1-4-5s, and I would just learn those. After that, I would learn the 6th chord for each key, and then after that, I would learn like how to make them all into major and minor 7s and dominant 7. And then after that, I mean, that's pretty much it. So like one other question I got was like, what other kind of rules are there? So I mean, one thing, let's say I went back to the key of C, which was C, F, G. That's the 1-4-5 in the key of C. So I mean, one thing you can do is just throw a chord in there for like no good reason. Just be like, alright, C, F, G. You could be like, well, another chord I kind of like, and you don't have to have any reason to do this. You could be like, well, I like A major, so. And just throw it in there and just use it. And don't worry about it, just do that. Because a lot of people, that's how they write songs, is like partly you know rules, and partly you just throw stuff in there. And like that's a cool chord progression actually, like. The only thing that happens when you do that is, like, this chord is A major, it's not in the key of C major, and it has a C sharp in it, which is not even in a C scale. So let's say you were soloing over that, and someone was going like, they were playing a little simple thing like that, and then they're like, oh, let me see if I can do it. I'll play it right here so you can hear it. Watch. So let's say you went to the next chord. It has C sharp. So like what you would be getting would be, this is C and this is C sharp. Those would be conflicting. So you gotta be a little careful. Also, when you're singing over stuff like that, when it has a chord from outside the key, even if you don't know like if it's in the key or not, you'll notice it can like pull your voice a little weird. Like let's say you're singing this note, boom, boom, blah, da, 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 da. It pulled my voice up a half step. That's a little unusual. Da, 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 da. It could be cool though. Like that's an interesting vocal melody. That's kind of cool. So that's kind of like, to me, that's actually really fun because that's weird. It's like not too weird though. So personally, like, I really like songs that have something a little quirky about them. It's not like total randomness. It's not like, that just sounds bad. It's just like a tiny bit off. Because the key of C major usually has an A minor in there, but A major just kind of tweaks it just a tiny, tiny bit. And it's more fun too as you get better with music when there's a little quirk in there. Because then when you're playing, you're like, ooh, it makes you think a tiny bit, and then you gotta come up with, like, if you're soloing over that, you have to be like right there, I had to go to C sharp. Like, you could just avoid it, but it's more fun. It's actually really fun when you go like a little farther along with guitar and you play with people that are real beginners. A lot of times, like, one advantage of being a beginner is you actually can come up with like really awesome stuff because like you don't have the rules in your head as much. Because I remember some of my students like who are more creative and they like to make up their own stuff. The stuff they made up was so weird, like it's not something you would ever think to do. But a lot of times it would be really interesting. And, like sometimes the rhythms would be really interesting too. Like when your sense of rhythm isn't that developed, to be like. That's just not even It's not even in rhythm. Like that's not a normal rhythm at all. That's something I can imagine. Like one of my students was really creative. He'd come up with stuff like that. But to me, that's fun though, because it's like a little weird. So, anyways, that's all about 1-4-5s and some other tips. So hopefully that was helpful. Alrighty.